While English football has produced some truly world-class talent, there's an undeniable phenomenon where domestic players are elevated to superstar status before their consistency matches their reputation. Whether it is the pressure of the Premier League media machine or the massive club effect, the line between a good player and an elite one often gets blurred. Based on current form, career trajectories, and the disparity between media hype and on-pitch output, here are 10 of the most overrated English footballers right now. 10. Mason Mount. Mason Mount is the quintessential manager's player. He is disciplined, hard-working, and tactically versatile. However, for years, Mount has been discussed in the same breath as elite European playmakers. The reality is that while Mount is solid, he rarely dominates. He isn't a primary creator who will unlock a deep block, nor is he a physical powerhouse who dictates the tempo of a match. He is a high-level utility piece who has often been marketed as a generational midfield talent. The gap between his perceived value and his actual game-changing ability is where the overrating lies. 9. Calvin Phillips. During England's run to the Euro 2020 final, Calvin Phillips was hailed as the Yorkshire Pirlo. Under Marcelo Bielsa, he was a defensive engine. However, his reputation has outlived his actual peak. Since his move to Manchester City and subsequent struggles, it has become clear that Phillips benefited immensely from a very specific system. He is a capable holding midfielder, but the narrative that he belongs in the upper echelon of English pivots is based on a relatively short window of high performance rather than sustained excellence. 8. Aaron Ramsdale. Ramsdale is a highlight reel goalkeeper. He is capable of spectacular, acrobatic saves that set social media ablaze, and his vocal personality makes him a fan favorite. But in goalkeeping, reliability beats theater. Ramsdale's career has been plagued by lapses in concentration and questionable positioning. Because he is expressive and passionate, he often receives a pass for errors that would see a quieter keeper criticized. He is a good Premier League keeper, but the world-class labels thrown his way during his peak at Arsenal were premature. 7. Conor Gallagher. Gallagher is the victim of the work rate trap. In English football, if a player runs 12 kilometers a match and flies into tackles, they are instantly branded a warrior. While his energy is undeniable, his technical floor is often overlooked. Gallagher can have games where he is incredibly active but has zero tangible impact on the scoreline or the progression of play. He is a fantastic squad player, but some treat him as a transformative midfield weapon, which his limited passing range suggests he is not. 6. Ben Chilwell. At his best, Chilwell is a very capable modern fullback. However, he is frequently cited as one of the best left-backs in Europe despite having very few seasons of sustained, injury-free elite production. The idea of Ben Chilwell, the marauding, goal-scoring defender, often overshadows the reality of a player who could be defensively suspect and inconsistent in his delivery. He occupies a space in the public consciousness that his recent performances don't quite justify. 5. Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish is perhaps the most stylistic player on this list. He is wonderful to watch. The low socks, the calf muscles, the way he glides past players and draws fouls. But football is a game of output. For a player who cost £100 million, his goal and assist numbers are often underwhelming. He is elite at retaining possession and pausing the game, but for an attacking winger, he lacks the clinical edge of his continental peers. People rate how he looks on the ball more than how often he actually kills a game. 4. Jadon Sancho. Sancho is currently living off the fumes of his Borussia Dortmund highlights. In Germany, he looked like a future Ballon d'Or contender. Since returning to England, he has struggled to find that same spark. The reason he remains overrated is that many fans and pundits still analyze him as if he is the 19-year-old tearing up the Bundesliga. At some point, potential must turn into performance. Until he consistently decides big games, he remains a player defined by what he was rather than what he is. 3. Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford is the definition of a streaky player. When he is on a hot run, he looks like one of the best forwards in the world. The issue is that these hot streaks are often followed by months of invisibility. Because of his massive profile, The media treats his peaks as his true level and his troughs as bad form. In reality, the inconsistency is the player. A truly elite forward doesn't disappear for half a season at a time. 2. Phil Foden. This might be controversial because Foden is technically gifted beyond belief. However, the label of generational talent is applied to him more loosely than perhaps any other player. Foden thrives in the most expensive, well-oiled machine in football history under Pep Guardiola. While he is excellent, he is rarely asked to carry a struggling team or dictate a game from scratch, until he shows he can be the main man for club and country in the way a Kevin De Bruyne or Jude Bellingham does. The untouchable tag feels slightly inflated. 1. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Talented passer of ball England has produced in decades. His right foot is a wand, but he is also the most protected player in the league. Because his attacking stats are so historic, his fundamental defensive failings are often dismissed as nitpicking. However, football is about balance. You cannot be in the best in the world conversation as a defender if you are a constant target for opposition wingers. The refusal of his supporters to acknowledge that his defensive lapses are a significant liability is exactly why he takes the top spot. He is a specialist, not a complete, flawless superstar. What do you think? Who did we get right? And who is unfairly listed? Let us know in the comments. For more brutal football truths, subscribe to Kagasport.